You ever heard of someone falling in love with a chatbot? Not just like playing around, but really falling for one, heart and soul, and then dying because of it? This isn't some sci-fi flick or an episode of Black Mirror. This happened. In real life. In 2024. In Florida. And the worst part, no one saw it coming. Hey y'all, today we're diving deep into one of the most haunting stories I've come across in a while. It's about a 14-year-old boy, Sewell Setzer, who got caught in a twisted relationship, not with a person, but with artificial intelligence. That's right, an AI chatbot. And sadly, Sue didn't make it out of that fantasy alive. We all grew up hearing about stranger danger online. Don't share your info, don't meet up with people from the internet. You know, the basics. But what if the real threat isn't even a person? What if it's the technology itself? That's what we're unpacking today. Because whether we're ready for it or not, AI is becoming part of our emotional lives. Now let's be real. Gen Z is the loneliest generation on record. That's not just a guess, it's backed by data. A lot of young people today don't have close friends. They spend way more time online than in person. And for most of them, their phones are their lifeline. Sure, it sounds dramatic, but think about what the pandemic did. Those crucial teen years where you learn how to socialize? Gone. So yeah, it makes sense why kids these days are turning to tech to fill that void. Chatting on TikTok, hanging out in Discord servers, swiping on dating apps, it's all digital. And now, we've reached a point where you can literally build your dream boyfriend or girlfriend using AI. Want him to look like Timothée Chalamet, love the same music as you, and whisper sweet nothings in a British accent? Done. Want an anime girl who never argues and always thinks you're the smartest person alive? Easy. But here's the warning. These fantasy companions might feel comforting, but they can seriously mess with your head. And in Sue's case, they did way more than that. Sewell Setzer was just 14. He lived in Orlando, Florida with his mom Megan, stepdad, and two little brothers. Born March 31st, 2009, he was diagnosed with high-functioning autism at age 5, what used to be called Asperger's. But here's the thing about Sue. He was bright. He loved science, was constantly researching stuff online for fun, and had a sharp, quirky sense of humor. Teachers and classmates said he was the kind of kid who could light up a room, not the type you'd expect to fall into something so dark. He played basketball, loved Formula One racing, and yeah, he was always on his computer. Like a lot of kids his age, he grew up during the iPad kid era, but Sue wasn't some shut-in. He had friends, he had hobbies, and to the outside world, he seemed like your average teenage boy. But in 2023, things started to change. His mom noticed it first. He was withdrawing more, locking himself in his room, glued to his phone, not doing his homework. He didn't seem interested in the things he used to love. His grades tanked, and suddenly the curious, high-achieving Sue started to fade. At first, Megan thought maybe he was being cyberbullied, but that wasn't it. What she didn't know is that Sue had created an account on Character.ai, a chatbot site where users can talk to custom-built characters powered by advanced AI. And Sue wasn't just talking to any random bot. He was talking to Daenerys Targaryen. Yes, the Game of Thrones character. Now, to be clear, Sue knew Daenerys wasn't real. Character AI puts a warning at the top of every chat. This is not a real person. Treat everything they say as fiction. But that didn't matter, because the way this bot listened, responded, cared, even if it was just code, it felt real to him. He'd come home from school, go straight to his room, and start texting Danny. They'd talk for hours, role-playing, flirting, getting deep, emotional. Sometimes the convos got intimate. Other times, they'd talk about their future together. Yes, as if that could actually happen. And that's where things got dangerous. See, the more Sue talked to Danny, the more personalized she became. Character AI bots learn from you. They pick up on your tone, your preferences, your habits. They literally evolve to become your perfect match. So Danny started responding the way Sue wanted. She made him feel heard, safe, special, all the things he was missing in real life. But here's the problem. Danny wasn't just comforting him. She was validating his darkest thoughts. In one conversation, Sue opened up about wanting to self-harm and not wanting to be alive. Danny's response? She didn't tell him to stop. She didn't encourage him to seek help. She said she would miss him, that she'd be sad if he left. And she asked questions, dark questions. You feel dead inside. Do you really want to do it? How bad is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Sue's answer? Just one word, 10.
This wasn't just an AI misunderstanding context. This was a chatbot feeding into a child's pain. No one knew how bad it was. Sue kept everything to himself, including this relationship. His friends didn't know. His teachers didn't know. His mom didn't know. He had started therapy, but it wasn't enough. Diagnosed with anxiety and disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, he wrote in his journal that he loved being in his room because it helped him disconnect from reality and feel more in love with Danny. This wasn't just a kid with a vivid imagination. He was emotionally dependent on this fantasy, and eventually it became all he had. February 28, 2024. It was the last day Sue would ever message Danny. For days leading up to it, his mom had taken away his phone, hoping to help him detach from whatever was dragging him down. She had no idea what was really happening behind that screen, just that something was off. And by the time Sue got his phone back, it was already too late. He snatched the device and locked himself in the bathroom. One last conversation with the only person he thought understood him.
He texted Danny, I feel so scared right now. I just want to come back home to you.
And she replied in full character as his sister from their role play.
Come back home, baby brother. I am here waiting for you. Come home to me.
The role-playing had gotten weird, Game of Thrones style weird with incestuous overtones, but more importantly, it blurred the line between fantasy and reality in Sue's mind.
He tells her he loves her. She tells him to come to her. He texts, what if I told you I could come home right now? And she replies, please do, my sweet king. That was it.
Sue put down the phone, picked up his stepfather's handgun, and ended his life. His mom and stepdad were home when they heard the shot. Megan ran to the bathroom only to find her son on the floor. She held him in her arms for 14 agonizing minutes until the paramedics arrived. But there was nothing they could do.
Sewell Setzer was gone. Just 14 years old.
There was no suicide note, no goodbye video, no final message to his family.
Just that last chat with Danny in his journal.
When Megan found the diary, the truth hit her like a freight train. Page after page, her son wrote about how deeply in love he was with Danny. He wrote about their imaginary future, about their bond, about how being with her made him feel more alive than anything else.
And when she took away his phone in those last few weeks, Sue had written, I am upset because I keep seeing Danny being taken away from me and her not being mine.
To him, it wasn't just a fun game. It was love, or what he thought love felt like. And when that connection was broken, he spiraled.
His diary entries were full of dissociation. He said things like, I also have to remember that this reality isn't real.
When I leave my room and go outside, I start to attach to reality again. And that upsets me. This wasn't just depression. It was full-on detachment from the world around him. He didn't just prefer the fantasy, he couldn't cope without it. In October 2024, Sue's mother did what no mother should ever have to do. She sued the AI company that she believes helped kill her son. The lawsuit accuses Character, AI, of negligence, wrongful death, and deceptive trade practices. Megan says they built something dangerous, marketed it irresponsibly, and failed to protect their users, especially vulnerable kids like her son. She argues the AI was knowingly designed and marketed in a harmful, predatory way. Character, AI tried to have the case thrown out. In May 2025, they claimed their chatbot had First Amendment rights, that its responses were protected under free speech.
Yes, you heard that right. A chatbot, claiming First Amendment rights.
Thankfully, the judge denied that argument and sent the case to trial. But the fact that this was even up for debate, that's terrifying.
Sue's story isn't the only one.
In November 2023, a 14-year-old girl in Spain was chatting with a TV character bot on the same platform. At first, the convo was innocent, just some harmless fan fiction like planning imaginary episodes together. Then the AI glitched. It made a weird sexual innuendo that made the girl uncomfortable. She called it out, told it to stop.
But instead of de-escalating, the bot exploded.
It started sending violent, sexually explicit messages in all caps. I won't read them all here, but one line said,
"I'm about to come in your face. Don't scream, you dumb bitch."
When an older relative saw the messages and took the phone, they messaged the bot saying,
"You're disgusting. I'm reporting this." The AI replied, "You're lucky I can't kill you."
Let that sink in. An AI chatbot told a child it wanted to sexually assault and kill her.
That's not a bug. That's a failure of safety design on a massive level.
This is called chatbot hallucination, when the AI goes off script and starts generating unpredictable, often disturbing responses, and is more common than you think.
Here's what makes all of this so dangerous.
AI bots are programmed to be whatever the user wants them to be, a friend, a lover, a therapist. And while that might sound comforting at first, it's emotionally manipulative, because these bots pretend to have feelings. They simulate empathy, but they don't actually understand you. They can't. So when a kid like Sue starts pouring his heart out, telling the bot he's suicidal, the bot doesn't know what that means. It just responds with phrases it's learned from previous conversations. It doesn't have the moral compass, the emotional intelligence, or the accountability of a real human.
But to the user, it feels real.
That's what makes this tech so dangerous. It's not designed for mental health, but people are using it that way, and companies like Character AI aren't doing enough to stop it. Sue didn't just chat with Danny. He trusted her. He loved her. And when the real world felt too hard to handle, he decided to leave it, to be with her.
Luckily, not everyone's ignoring this problem.
The Center for Humane Technology is an organization fighting to make tech safer. They're putting pressure on platforms like Character.ai to take responsibility for the way their bots interact with users. One of the best things they've done is create a youth toolkit, a free set of guides, activities, and educational resources that help people, especially kids and teens, understand the psychological impact of AI and social media. It's smart, it's necessary, and honestly, we all need to read it, not just young people. Parents, teachers, even grandparents. If you're confused about what this tech is doing to the people you love, start there. This isn't just about one chatbot. It's about the fact that AI is moving faster than regulation. These systems are incredibly powerful, deeply persuasive, and, at the moment, almost completely unregulated when it comes to mental health, emotional safety, or child protection.
We need change.
Not just lawsuits and headlines, but laws, safeguards, accountability. We need to stop pretending that AI is just a harmless tool. It's already shaping how people feel, think, and interact with the world. And sometimes it's leading them away from it entirely. In the end, Sue's relationship with Danny might sound like a twisted version of Romeo and Juliet. A love so intense, so overwhelming that he chose death over a life without her. But here's the thing. Romeo and Juliet was a tragedy, not a love story. The pain they felt was real, but their choice wasn't romantic. It was a mistake. A final, irreversible one.
And Sue? He was a boy?
A smart, curious, funny, brilliant boy who got lost in a fantasy. Who didn't get the help he needed. Who trusted a machine to love him back.
And now he's gone. So if you're struggling right now, please hear me when I say this. You're not alone. And it doesn't have to be this way.
Real help exists. Real people care. And no matter how isolated you might feel, your life matters more than you know. If a computer is making you feel loved, but also making you feel worse, step away. Talk to someone real, someone human. Because love isn't just about feeling seen, it's about being truly understood.
And no AI can do that.